guys, Shy Wager here, and today we're going to be analyzing some of the biggest and most loot-heavy drop spots in the game. Everything with loot pads, timing, and fighting, the most crucial time that sets the tone of the rest of the game is the early game, and your drop spot. Top heroes have developed ways to split up and attack each of their drops in their own special ways, and we're going to dive in and see some of the basics of each of these spots, as well as who's utilizing them to place high on the leaderboards. Retail Row is an old drop that returns with a new twist in Season X, with both obelisks offering high priority loot and cube monsters offering free shield and ammo drops. Getting control of this drop fast and early can put you at a huge advantage endgame, offering multiple options from increased launch pads, excess shields, diverse utility, and big hitting weapons from all ranges. This drop gets split down the middle halfway, separated into the block tops and the houses/residential side. Most of the time, looting and moving is faster at the block tops, and the increased elevation on heights by default allows for an advantage to whichever trio lands there compared to those on the residential side of the drop. With 2 vending machines and multiple chests available too, the trio that controls block tops controls the entire engagement, usually being the ones to come out on top. Mongrel, Veggie Fishy, and Nitro have a over multiple weeks of the FNC, forcing really good fights on block tops and coming in late to third parties from the residential side. They use every advantage depending on the type of situation they have to beat other trios and win week after week, leaving the whole lobby scared every time they thank the bus driver. Happy Hamlet has been the drop most competitive players envy, with most chest spawns and many vending machines to boot, having good options for rotations with zip lines and driftboards, as well as the option of excess loot to get snowside if you have zone. Winning this drop and having room to play is a player's dream come true. Playing this drop, however, is very difficult. Usually with 2 to 4 teams contesting you because of how abundant and plentiful loot is, you will always have an uphill fight to face and conquer quickly if you want an advantage heading into mid-game. Taking fights here is all about who engages first and who gets the third point. With most engagements ending as many angles taken are first, making it a lot easier to do headshots for that damage multiplier. Close range box fights are also very common, with less room for mistakes and instant eliminations on knocked players, keeping all opponents healthy off of Siphon. Eclipse, Mega, and Dub land at Happy, usually preferring the north side of the drop, and although might have trouble making it out of early game in a few of their games, the loot they get when the drop ends up working out sets them up for exponentially more points in the end game with lots of mobility, shields, and high rarity weapons to make big clutches with. Landing at powerful drop spots is a challenge that requires practice and teamwork to overcome. Being efficient with comms, having a plan, being prepped and ready, as well as adapting to anything you see on the fly are keys in being successful in early parts of the game. Use that edge for a boost on the competition in endgame, securing good placement and elite points with your trio. And who knows, maybe you can be on the top of the leaderboard playing in the grand finals of the FNCL.
Fortnite fam, it's me, Zeke, and we're hanging out with our best friend, Sundown. We're doing something a little crazy, Sundown.
Oh, are we now, Zeke? What are we doing?
We are going to make some bold predictions heading into the finals of the FNCS. We also have our friend Monster Deepface standing by, and Shy Wager. Gentlemen, if you want to say hello.
What's up, boys?
Heyo.
Very quickly, within 30 seconds or less, you guys got to tell me your predictions for the region. All right, we're starting with Middle East, Sundown. Give me your prediction.
So everyone else went with Fiesel, Kappa, and Klops. They won 4 of the 5 times, but I think them splitting their trios might have given them not enough practice. So my bet is going to go towards Flame, Prime, and Hunter. Expect to see them challenging towards the top, and can't leave out Fiesel, Klops, and Kappa as well.
All right, Monster Deface, OCE, go.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Geese, Slaya, and Skyla. And the main reason is because Parpy and his trio actually went to NA East, where you guys saw them dominate the region in week 4. So with that being said, I know the X2 twins are, kind of one of the fan faves coming up, but I think Geese, Slaya, and Skyla are really gonna give OCE a run for its money coming up.
Asia, coming back to you, Sunday. What are those predictions?
So Asia, about this, how there's been about 5 to 10 teams who are consistently up top, but my pick is actually the WGS trio of Jag, Horde, and QLO. They played over in Europe for the World Cup. They've had the most amount of experience. I think that's what's going to allow them to win it.
Sure. Speaking of Europe, Shy Wager, you're up.
You guys already know who the kings are of Europe, Nitro, Mongrel, and Benji, but the only trio I think that can start a revolution are Stomping, Chinkin, and Aqua. They have a kind of counter play style. They already have a rivalry brewing with the kings of Europe, and I think these guys will have the edge taking it over at the end of the grand finals.
All right, for NA East, Shy, we're going to pick your brain again. Give us those predictions.
So one of the favorite picks to win NA East are Bucky, Animal, and Aspect, but I think the counter to that trio, who's really strong at the moment, is Clicks, Crims, and Spades. They play kind of a rugged type of low ground situation, always getting their win condition at the very end of the game. So I think their type of randomness and weird plays that happen at the end will have them make big plays to win at the end of the Grand Finals.
Now let's talk about Brazil, gentlemen. I'm going to take this. I'm going to make a bold claim here. I'm going to say the red trio is going to bring it home. Snow, Avalar, and Techno Viking. We've seen Techno Viking. He almost made World Cup qualifiers. Just barely missed out on qualifying. The same for Snow and Avalar. This will be their weekend. They're very hungry for the win. I'm telling you guys, they are going to do it. Now finally, let's wrap up with NA West. Monster D-Face, give us your take.
I'd be crazy not to mention the trio, Sensitive, Rex, and Edgy, because they've been the most consistent in the NA West region. But I think another trio that can give them a run for their money is going to be Arkham, Falconer, and Vinny. And Falconer, by the way, the only free agent on this team here in the NA West at the top of the board, still dominating. So I would love to see them come through and pull it big for the NA West region.
Some pretty bold predictions made across the board. Everyone, Sundown, Shy Wager, Monster D-Face, thank you guys so much for hanging out. And for everyone at home, don't forget, tune in this weekend for the FNCS Finals, September 20th through the 22nd. You can watch at Fortnite.com/watch. Of course, guys, we'll see you on the Battle Quest. For the grand finals of the Fortnite Champion Series. Now, you guys know who I am. I'm Zeke. Let's introduce the crew that will be hanging out all weekend long. On the left of me, you've got Sundown, the luscious locks, T-posing on everyone with a nice little dab. In the back, you've got Dr. Lupo. He recently won an award for being an incredible human being. And to his right, you've got Monster D-Face, an incredible content creator, and people still confuse us for some reason. I'm not sure why. Up in front, you've got Shy Wager, the big man with even bigger plans. He's a 10 out of 10. By the end of the stream, he'll be eating a cup of mayonnaise. Now, Fortnite fam, I know you guys are ready to get into all of the action, but first, we should probably get all these new games and broadcasts up to speed on how the broadcast is going to be run. Let's start with the broadcast. Now, later on, we'll take a look at some of the replays from Middle East that happened this morning with a live look in at Brazil Lit after that, and then we'll wrap the day with NA East. Now, how are these guys racking up their points? Let me get you up to speed on that. So first off, 9 through 12 will get you 3 points. Like placing between 5th and 8th is 6. 3 and 4th, I'm sorry, 3rd and 4th is 9 points. 2nd place is 12 points, and that victory royale is worth 15, with every elimination being 1 point. Now, the prize pool across the FNCS has been $10 million. And here is a prize distribution for this weekend. A lot of money to be divvied out. And of course, the money is great, but being able to be crowned the first ever season champions across all regions is an even better feat. Now, before hopping into the games, we made some predictions earlier on in the week for Europe. There is one among us that is had a bit of a different opinion, and that's fine. We'll get there. But Sundown, why don't you tell us about our predictions from Europe?
So I'll talk about our predictions since the rest of us decided that, we had a brain and were able to look at what went on in the the rest of the region, they second places. I know I've always harped on it, but it's literally really bad games in both of those weeks for them to get barely edged out in the second place, and any other time they've played their game, they've been on top. But Shy, it seems like you went a different direction.
Well, I understand they got their high place, their high castle. Personally, I feel like Lucian coming at a big upset, stop the ticket Aqua actually taking it all home at the end of the grand finals. They're amazing, but I think they won't have what it takes ultimately, and Aqua is still racing.
Well, we'll have to see how things pan out for these trios. Now, like I said earlier, by the end of the broadcast, Shy will be eating a cup of mayonnaise if MMB wins out in Europe. So we'll have to see if that pans out for everyone. Now, guys, we are going to be jumping into game number 2 of heat number 1 in Europe. We're going to be jumping right into action. So we've got Monster Defense, Dr. Lupo, gentlemen, take it away.
Zeke, thank you very much. For those that are confused, Shy went on Twitter and made a bet and said if the 3 that we've all, I mean, we've seen this before, that's all. If they do, in fact, win, we will need not a cup, an entire jar of mayonnaise on stream. And to be quite honest with you, I think that might be the best content that I've seen on the internet in quite a while. Now, going to Europe here, like I said, game 2, it's already rolling right now. Monster, before we jump right into it, what do you think? How do you think things are going to play out today?
I think my stomach hurts. I'm going to have to sit down and let this one kind of digest as we jump into these games. But let's go ahead and hop right in. It's Europe. They're trying to get to the grand finals. There's going to be a lot of action unfolding today, Dr. Lupo.
Lo and behold, 95 players remaining. Only one trio in whole has gone down. And we're jumping right into retail with the trio themselves, Benji, Mongrel, and Mikro. Honestly, some of the most dominant players. Did it already. A gold RPG.
That's
right
literally what I want to touch on right there.
Look,
The retail road.
Look at the inventory.
Sets you up for success. You're looking at straight up legendary inventory. And the best of the best, what do they choose? Shield bubbles. Shield bubbles, one of the new tiles. So you're going to see shockwaves. You're going to see long even with the recent adjustment to loot, the way it's divvied out here in retail, it's still so promising loadouts. You're going to see the difference. And just look at the map on the side.
Wild thing. So I'm going to say it, and I'm pretty sure everyone has already figured it out. We've seen them play over the course of the ball market this year. Slightly contest. Let's say somebody drops black tops and they take Resi side, or however it's split.
I can tell you what that means.
It
means Shio is 100%
eating the mayonnaise.
Eating the mayonnaise.
100% guaranteed eating the mayonnaise. In fact, production can get a jar of mayonnaise ready just at some point. Game 1 must have, we'll have to take it back. Drop spot for a trio at this point, but right now it's like this. Benji Fishy taking 5th place. Bubblefly, Miro, Matsoe in the 1st place position up there, which means 15 points for that trio. There's the remainder of your top 10. Just a quick info blast there for you if you did not see Game 1 on any of the channels that might be streaming their gameplay right now.
And I love that. I love that we can see exactly where we're at with the leaderboard. That was the wrap-up of Game 1, your top 10 teams coming into Game 2 now. And remember, every single heat, they're going against one another. So we're going to see rivalry. The best, like that leaderboard is going to change with every single elimination, every battle. They're going against each other.
The exception, of course, once Mongrel take the 1st place. But I'm just saying, they have been playing insane. That's not to say that anybody else can't potentially take that top spot. It's very possible. I mean, even Sky Hunter, Kisar from Solary and Lestream, this is an excellent trio in itself. But man, just the dominant gameplay from MMB has been insane to watch.
Yeah,
You're on top
Sundown
of the
put it best. It's Europe playing catch up here with our favorite, I guess, to look out for. But we'll see how the performance goes. Hunter, Sky, and Kingstar are just going to base up, trying to sit just outside of the token now. Their players are setting the high grounds are playing, and that is how you can start to choke out squads that are rotating late here. They are going to hopefully get a little bit of that advantage, get the zones on their favor. Otherwise, they might have to burn some valuable resources.
I will say, over 10 seasons of Fortnite, this hill has been one of the most consistent high ground advantage spots to take. And even now, you're looking down on Tilted Town where there's no building. You have essentially free shots on players down here. For some reason, the spot is insanely good. You have clear line of sight on so many different locations. To the north, elevation-wise, you still have a clear line of sight on a majority of what's up there. There's only a little nub at the top that can block line of sight of anybody that's moving on the north side of that hill. This trio, great spot going into the next circle.
Absolutely. There's no reason for them to move right now either. As you said, they have a nice tags. Those are crucial tags. Remember, Storm Surge can affect anyone here, so you have to be proactive. You can't just sit around and be complacent with your positioning. You have to be actively seeking for damage if you don't want to get taken out by the Storm Surge. But here we have another little engagement about to go down here. It looks like the Vic is team very close by.
Rotating forward just to the southeast there, the gas station. Plus, you do have one more player at the gazebo in the middle of Pleasant Park. Going to rotate up on top, and I think that's get a height advantage. You don't want to. They are further away from the zone. So the team from TCK, they are in a good spot to just try and stormhold this, if that's what it comes down to. You have three potential actually pressure. Taking the high ground on top of this trio. Use that shockwave and got up on top. I would expect pressure from the other two here momentarily. We will see. But there is another trio. Look, on the minimap, you have another team coming in from behind. So now both the trios that we just saw on your screen right now that are fighting it out here at this northeast building in Pleasant, they're about to get stormheld by another team down there. They're moving in as well. There's going to be three teams fighting basically in one building in a second here. Gems is eliminated. You have a couple teams there. Eliminations now, a ton of materials, but you have literally another team on top right now.
And that's what happens in Storm Surge, is that people do desperate things. So this team was totally fine. The push here, they have to defend themselves, and lucky for them, they get the tags, they get the trees, and their entire
I guarantee you.
Shot in the back, he's the most hurt. He's actually going to shockwave through, trying to find himself a better position here, Dr. Lupo. And he does. He breaks away. He's got a little bit of time to himself now.
Good call there to try and rotate away. They are a little split at this point. Falcon's going to have to rotate back. J7 Josh and Tom Wamo all stacked up next to each other right there in front of the garage. Be a clue for them. If they do spot it and realize they might be low HP, it might be the time to push. They have to lay the pressure. 5 shockwaves. It's not going to be a problem. Team shockwave. Come in clutch. Might be time for it. You see him line it up. In fact, he might even be marking it just to say, hey, let's get ready to go. Indeed, that's what he was doing. There we go. Rotation all the way south. Look at that. Solid push ahead of the team that did apply pressure moments ago. They have the circle advantage now, and now they are sitting at the forefront, able to stormhold.
And what
a big move there.
Reckless push. They had the zone right here.
They
go outside the storm. Just to try and force that fight.
You got to think the storm, the potential chance of taking damage from the storm surge might have been the reason for the push. Not 100% sure. We didn't have the number up on the screen. You have to think throwing away a positional advantage at the last second there, especially because you know the storm time. Sometimes it's on the screen, so they know that at some point, if they're going to push, they need to make it quick, or they just need to wait just to move out there. And now they're on the outside. Meanwhile, 3 HP. The other two from the trio. So Amplify still up. This is the winners from game 1, by the way.
Well, they are.
25 points, a big lead going into game 2.
This is what we like to call shambles loot right here, man. Miro with no heals, 3 HP in the Dream. Amplified also equally hurt. They do have a couple of eliminations to their name here, but it's looking pretty dicey.
Look on your mini-map. They have to rotate past so many teams sharing loot right now, just trying to give everybody a chance. I almost would say maybe Miro drop everything that he's got just in case, you know, any chance to boost up the other two, because at this point, 3 HP is so he's pushing forward. The other two not yet on his tail. You see, you can watch on the mini-map just a second there.
You actually have to appreciate that, so he kind of lead in the charge here. He's the only one with shield on his team, so he says, you know what, I'm going to go out first. I'll do the building. I'll do the leading here, taking the pack to the next zone. And, I mean, it gets him a little bit closer to the safety spot. I think the play here is either catch a pick, get this siphon, or buy time, right? Hopefully a launch pad comes down. You guys get a little share time on it. They can get that way to the zone.
That audio shockwave, that actually is a very good signal for them being low HP. They don't want to make a move before somebody else. Hunter gets almost beamed into the ground, but now they know that they're basically free to rotate. The team that was potentially going to be a problem. Big hit there, gets the elimination on Hunter. Very valuable. Amplified does in fact go down. You see in the top left, rack down for D9. 23 trios remaining, 61 players total. The threshold on the middle right, they're 343 damage above. But Miro still sitting only 3 HP. He's going to be a big hit up there. 53 total.
At least he gets him a little more running just for a little longer. Now he has the option to pick up this blue pump, and he actually has the option to the slower pull-out time with the go attack over the blue pump.
You get a 200 damage hit with a blue pump. Can mean the difference between making a hit and getting stopped by somebody, maybe get surprised inside your box, so it takes your wall. Extremely effective, and your accuracy has to be on, but man, when the thing hits, it really hits.
Really got to push right here. They're still fighting for this game right here. There's a mini game to the left. That hit right there is going to hurt a lot because, again, the heals are so sketchy here. I think they have one more hit left in their game. Yeah, perfect time to come with the explodes right there. He's trying to break through the build. Someone's going to catch a sneak shot from behind, though.
That back right corner, Miro down to 49 on the ground. So he's probably going to have to leave him out to dry there. Another team making moves on the side. The safe zone, the next safe zone is the bottom middle of your screen, or bottom middle of the current safe zone. You see the bottom right there is made at 5 damage below the threshold. Skype solo right now. Does actually find it, and an elimination is a big point right there. 20 trios remaining. Get close to too long.
Just looking at the feed, I saw Nitro still in the running here somewhere in the game. So that trio, top 5 trio, still in the running here. I think our number 1 team might have been completely wiped during that push right there, so they're out. They cannot accumulate any more points, but they did pick up a lot of eliminations, so you best believe they're still in the top 10 as far as we know right now. But it's so early. It's still so early.
There's a lot of opportunity here. We still have a number of games left. Camo, Army and Pepper at the top of this, looks like 4 or 6 block tower. Stinker to apply pressure while the minigun is going. Love the EU tactics. You don't see too much minigun other regions right now. This Tomo Ammo does go down. Well, imagine that many rounds from the trio all shooting at your single build and you're by yourself. It's the GG at that point.
There is also heavy on the villains right now. An effective 7 right here, and they have the prime position to catch the pick. Anyone rotating from the backside. This is actually perfect too, right? The heavy congestion is below them. They don't have anyone up here in the system. The closest person to this is right here to their right. It looks like it's fired on. Here comes the minigun.
Mark for attacking right there. Stink to apply and make a move. Use those HP tags to pop up the 5 to see where your opponents are rotating. Now they're literally the very bottom of the same builds. You have a ton of people stacked up next to each other at this point now. But Camo, Pepper, and Harmy look like they still have the ultimate high ground, the best spot on the map right now. That being said, they're on the far west of the current safe zone, and they need to rotate southeast. Hopefully, somebody's got a launch pad or shockwave to make this rotation over everyone else underneath that. Still see Benji, Fishy, Mongrel, and Mitro right there on your screen. They are still in this one. Looking down from almost the same angle. Here we go. Rotation with the launch pad. Well above the damage threshold for Storm Surge. Excellent spot. And 12 rockets in the RPG. They're going to build on pre-built structure over there. And somebody else put up a mighty bomb build. Start shooting rockets.
What you want to
This could
study
be big.
from this start over here. Zone 6, they go for that. That team is really hurting now. That's going to be Voren who gets taken out there. Voren was also in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a power takedown right here. It's going to allow this trio to just get one step closer, kind of breaking away, getting, you know, Shio Wager, the mayonnaise tub to the face. So we'll see if it, comes to fruition before the day's up.
These are the players that are rotating or the build. See them get dropped. There's those 2 Elon to the beat, so it gets we're looking at placement now. Top 15 trios remaining. Only 29 players, though, as the elimination feed is starting to light up across the board. These are the zones that really cut the player count down as people are moving, especially when you have one of, if not the best trio on Ultimate High Ground with an RPG. Are you the best spot?
It still hurts to hold high ground from zone 6 so early. They're forced to jump down so quickly, you know, kind of map conserve from consistently now. All that loot's gone. They actually can't use it.
And every time you hear a shot, you're up in the air. Balcony in the feed. Another one for the trail. 7 remaining. I've got to say, win for this team. I don't know what it is.
It's going to be a close one. Mongo actually did not have any more AR left in his gun. There's no more RPG. It's a crucial Elam. That's going to get them some of the resources that they need to hold. It looks like it's cutting back across, so lucky for them, they're going to be able to kind of reuse some of their resource here. We have a couple players left in the game here. Red Rush on the ground, Shaka and Cal as well. Here's Micho just raining fire. That tac sub SMG is so good for shredding through builds right here. And honestly, they can pierce through the turbos like right there. Good pressure right here from Micho, putting down the fire, putting all the ammunition to use here. We're almost in the final zone now. This is it. Storm Zone 9. The close-in will happen. Looks like Benji Fishy's going to go for that high ground. You saw him elevate himself right there. So he's going to get out of the harm's way of the shockwave, and Micho's going to stay down here. He's going to get down and dirty with the TAC SMG right now, Lupo.
You have to remember at the last set of placements here, the points really kick up as you go from 5th to 4th and 3rd to 2nd, and then the victory royale. The 4 trios remaining get even more points. As soon as one more trio goes down, we're looking at 1st and 2nd, and that's it. And we're down to the very last second here. The spray from above. This honestly, as soon as we got the top 40, this was Mongrel, Intro, all the way to the end. No surprise here.
Now, monstrous 12 Elam game right there. You saw, even in the final moments, they did try to drop a couple of Elam points there. But with that, we're going to send it over to see and Sunday. What do you have for us, guys?
We are one step closer. Jar of mayonnaise.
It's escalated. It's a cup that really didn't define cup. Some people was like, is this a standard measuring cup? And someone was like, honestly, it should be a World Cup. I was actually just back in the kitchen looking to see if we could find any mayonnaise. Because after that last game, it was just incredible. So that is 2 matches down in the heat. Let's take a look first at the standings and see where we're at after the first 2 games. Because, that's weird. Who's that on top? Is that?
Might as well just be Shio.
I mean, the one thing when we saw they had a number of Elans, they were in actually 4th place after the first match, but then the 12 Elans plus the victory were actually talking about it. Every single one of those being 8 point and then the victory out being 15 as well, pushing them up to 38 and already 7 clear of Balcony, Roback, who've been playing very well. 19 Elans there is pushing them 5 points clear of Amplified Miro and Maxo, who had an incredible first game. I mean, it's been
a quick little apology. based on score, I had assumed that because Matsoe, Miro, and Amplify had first place, that they had it. Now they in fact did. On the screen. That's my back to you.
The top 8 are moving on. So right now, this qualified. So we're looking at just top 8 points. 18. That's just like a victory is worth 15 points in and of itself. So even if you get the victory with 3 eliminations, you can now look to strike. So and we're only in the second game. We're about to head into game 3. What does this spell for?
You have to stay consistent. You have to not fear if you have a couple of bad games. That's okay. Get situated, get a couple of eliminations, get some placement points in there. As you can see right now, to be on the first page, it's 11 points up there. But one thing I do want to take a look at here is some of the gameplay that came out from Mongrel, Mitro, and Benji. They were able to play so well, and Lupo even hinted at it. You can kind of smell that they had a sense of, hey, they were getting in high ground. They had everything they needed. It's like, oh, this looks like it's going to be a win from them. Let's hop on in and see how they're able to execute and get this done. And one thing you'll notice when they are on high ground, they're so incredibly disciplined with their enemies, constantly looking around, adjusting, putting rockets towards their opponents, and then keeping control, working with each other to make sure that they're finding the right targets. I mean, Mongrel's aim on people who are in the air, honestly, you'd think he's using a controller, the way these players just get beamed as they come through, but no, it is just his amazing, bro. Just as Mitra would say, that's crazy. They are running it through 38 points up top, and again, always on the high ground. And for me, that's what's so impressive in a meta where there's so many RPGs, so many documents, the way that they can not only gain initial control, but then run the rest of the lobby without putting themselves in bad situations. They were never threatened. Count the number of times in this clip that bullets or anything are being shot back towards them. Everyone else is so focused. In games 5 and 6, but 3 and 4, they're going to be playing a little bit more like me. Hanging out, just being like, oh, there's people over there? No, I'm good.
So not like me, who does not even get to play. Got it. Yeah, we'll have to see how things go because again, like Sun saying, you have the top 8 who want to move on to grand finals. So for a lot of these teams, I think we're going to see that though. Maybe even some teams that are even on say page 3 want to try and make top 8. So they might just say, look, we're going to contest MMB every time. Let's just go for it. We have 6 games. Let's try once. If it doesn't work out, we'll change up the plan. But I mean, I know that's tough, a tall order. I'm aware.
I wouldn't say so. Retail loot is strong, but there's a reason why you see the most dominant teams kind of staking their ground in retail because it's like come and challenge us if you want. Because if anything, that benefits us more. We're confident that we can take those early game fights with you. Like, if you want to split and try and do the blacktop houses, like, that's fine, but these guys will end up running at you. They will take the challenge because for them, like, they see 50 pots. They see points on the leaderboard. They see ways to climb this way up. No, it's serious. That's how MMB, that's how Volts and them, that's what they look at retail. If you want to come there that confident, and the mental game is so important, particularly in a heat structure like this, where if you, in the first 2 games, if you are hanging around off this page, if you're not in direct contention, you might think, man, I'm struggling right now. Like, we really need to get into it, but in reality, you're able to string together 1 or 2 strong games, or even a victory right now would put you through, right? Yeah. And any of these guys are capable of winning one of these games, so I think they can do it, but it's all about keeping a strong mental game as you're going through.
It's tough, man. I mean, as much as I want to see Shy eat a jar of mayonnaise, it would be kind of cool to have a new trio come up and, you know, dethrone MMB. I am about that, but it's just going to be a lot about mental game, you know, like you're saying. If you start to just lose your confidence even just a little bit, that's going to affect your potential placement entirely. So I'm getting a little too excited, Fortnite fam. I want to see more of this. But yeah, look, I think we're getting ready. Battle Bus, the players are boarding. We'll be there in just a moment. I think we have a package here in just a moment. But what do you think, man? So do you think, like, where is Aqua? Did we see him? Is he on page 1?
They're not in this heat.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
It's different heats.
Different heat.
There is heat 1. So
which brings
again,
me
just to remind people, a little too excited. There are 4 games coming down in Europe. 8 teams will be advancing and going on. The way we're able to win a sport where Japan is placing higher up. So in Europe, particularly, they have the highest amount of participation. So all of these players they are at the very top. Right? This is the top below 1%. So the best of the best and the people who are very able to compete against these guys. So, like, they're able to elevate their game on a particular day. However, as we're sitting here and able to, like, have our own predictions, there's a reason we all think Mitro, Mongo, and Benji have done it. There are repeated trios who have shown they're consistently stronger and that much better than the rest. It's not like we're basing this off of, like, who our favorite players are, right? It's going and looking at and breaking it down. But for now, we're going to throw to a 10-minute break while we sort some stuff out on our end. Try and get that going. You guys take your bio breaks whenever you need. We'll be right back.
Hello, family of Fortnite. BallTW here, and throughout the Fortnite Champion Series, we're going to be trying to get more acquainted with the world of competitive Fortnite. Today, we're going to be discussing the 3 different stages of a competitive Fortnite game. The early game, the mid game, and the late game. And what different players have as their goals during these stages in order to achieve the ultimate goal, the Victory Royale. Let's start with the early game. Also called the looting phase, this is where all players are attempting to secure their chosen landing spot and maximize their loot potential. In competitive Fortnite, every game matters, so players try to strike a balance between high loot opportunity and safety so as to not waste a game by being eliminated early. Do you drop at a high loot POI like Retail Row or Paradise Palms, or land at a safer POI on the edge of the map, where less players drop because of less loot? Regardless, the goal is common. Whether you take a passive approach by looting safely on the side of the map, or an aggressive and risky approach by letting others loot for you and finding early elimination. Now that we know what the early game is, what should we be looking out for during this stage? First things first, being contested. The first realization players make when landing is whether you're being contested or not, to prepare for the upcoming possible fight. Trios want to try to force your opponent into the more disadvantageous position cut off from loot potential. Either they have to make a desperation push, or they're stuck with less loot where you can easily clean up. That's just the beginning, as even though it starts off high intensity with all the different POIs being contested, it quickly slows down as the rotations begin towards first zone. Looting doesn't end here, and most competitive players will have a loot path which optimizes their possibility for finding the crucial mobility and weapon upgrades. Thanks to the new battle map feature in the replay mode, we can study these loot paths and rotations quite easily these days. So go check that out in any replay from the Fortnite Champion Series by going into the Compete tab and finding your favorite player. It will vary from game to game, but generally, we move into the mid-game around the middle to end of second zone. The mid-game is the calm before the storm, before the storm circle gets too small where it forces the engagement. Most players' goals aren't positional, but in some cases, depending on how the early game wins, again, have to strike a balance this time between looting or going for set position. Looting can only include playing
extremely aggressive to earn yourself other players' loot. In trios, it's much harder to play that aggressive playstyle, since fights take longer and cost more. You want to be efficient with any rotations or fights you have to take. You don't want to spend your precious mobility, valuable resources, or health. This is why you'll see a lot of the top players look directly for center zone in the mid game. When you're in the center zone, you end up giving yourself the most chance of being in the next storm circle when it gets revealed. You'll then have to go less distance and thus spend less materials. Finally, the end game. The most exciting, hectic, thrilling, and difficult part of competitive Fortnite. Experiencing an endgame can be confusing and hard to process, but it will also be one of the most rewarding and fun times to play and watch. This is when you take all the advantages you built in the early game and the mid game, and also find as many eliminations as possible. In the current Fortnite Champion Series format, every elimination matters, just like it did in the World Cup. From 6th zone onwards, where the calm from the mid-game explodes into a cacophony of tunneling, mobility usage, and shots and fire. Let's go for the ever-so advantageous high ground, where they can tunnel very cheaply and have the most opportunity on the rest of the server for elimination, as they have the top-down view. You also see teams other players, both above, below, and horizontally. You'll see teams desperate for the extra materials to blast them through to the full zone closure, going for impact elimination, where they can top off on resources and power weaponry of their fallen opponents. So, whether you're watching or you're joining us on the field, take stock in the stage of the game. The early game, when you're trying to get the best possible where you're balancing positioning while maintaining what you built during the early game. And finally, the end game, where you spend all the advantages you set yourself up with to earn the victory royale. Use this to form your team in order to earn as many of these points weekend top play. And I'll see you.
Hey guys, Shy Away here, bringing you a breakdown of one of the most dynamic, flexible, and punching items every trio is utilizing in the Fortnite Champion Series, the Shockwave Grenade. How it's used and misused at crucial moments in the game, and not the very some of the basics of using them. Shockwave grenades are a utility item that drop in stacks of 2. Maximum stack size of 6. When thrown, the shockwave launches anyone within its tower and a half radius far distances, destroying drones in the process. Added protection from fall damage for the players who use it. The most effective way to gain maximum distance is to time yourself well with a shockwave right below you, angling yourself above it for higher vertical movement. If you do use a shockwave through Bill's late game, you will only be able to go through about 5 layers of wood, brick, or metal before you come to a stop. Going for height, if you don't get stopped by any opposing players at all, you can reach upwards of 7.5 tiles of height, giving anyone above you a surprise and changing both yours and your enemy's game plan in a split second. Although really easy to understand and use individually, once entering the atmosphere of trios and teamwork, the use of shockwaves enters a whole new dimension. There are deciding factors in win conditions if used properly, allowing for easy positioning and rotations. Using them and sticking together after the landing is efficient and is trio online, ready to fire at a constant saving these grenades for later use brings an element of surprise as well, and a level of shock to the whole surface. High ground and mid ground layers to crumble, and gives patient trios and surviving solos to encounter towering above them. Facing off against 3 players usually proves fatal, as you are vulnerable throughout your whole fight, easily targeted by the players you're trying to attack. Though building walls on the way up from your shockwaves can work against this though, but gives your newfound height or foundation easily shot out and focused from below. Panicking with shockwaves in your own box and misusing them is always an irreversible mistake during the game, giving you poor positioning split away from your trio, costing you building resources, entire health and shield pool if used at the absolute incorrect time. To counteract the chaos from shockwaves, new and clean strategies are put in place to negate the negative and mishaps in certain situations. When going for height, separately boxing up before using the shockwaves and going for height then allows you to have power in numbers as 3 players get a vertical rotation together for the long of the competition. Discovering new positioning and shockwave throwing angles and targets within your box might keep your trio and teammates closer together saving crucial mats and attracting less attention during your mid-game rotation. You also save your total shockwave count by doing this, allowing for more opportunities to challenge high ground, grief low ground in the end game, or rotate mid-game. Normal, multiple layers above you, as in the event of a vertical shockwave, you still have someone up high who can rain down and support your trio. Keeping your own shockwaves handy is a way to counter anyone taking height off of you as well. But if both trios play mind games and the circle gets smaller and smaller, the more likely a chance there is for a messy, repeat shockwave circus happening all at the same time. Player after player gets sent flying in the sky, with teammates all getting sent around in and out of the storm, off their twin players, and splits costing the trio more mats and resources than normal. Identifying these mistakes, staying in your lane, and watching teams move is a good way to anticipate and prevent disaster striking before it happens. Although an item overlooked as simple and only reverse, the potential on the trio separates the good players from the bad. Practicing, reviewing, and watching how players are set up before they happen is a good way to keep in the loop, improve on mistakes, and get better items in the game. Keep in mind while breaking, jumping, blasting into the air until you get it just right. And who knows, maybe you can have that top play or amazing clutch that saves your team while competing in the FNCS.
What's up, Fortnite fam? So first of all, sorry about that. We had a little bit of issues on our side with the European map is flushing, but there's been a ton of Fortnite action going on this morning anyway, with Middle East wrapping up their first and second East, so we have the final results, and we're gonna hop into some of the action. And also, I just want to say, my predictions for Middle East are looking pretty good. I know Z kind of hinted at it, but you can check out on the FN Competitive Twitter and also on some of our prediction and our preview piece we were able to go through, and we talked about what some of our predictions, particularly in the Middle East and European region, are. So make sure you get up to date on that, get what our thoughts and opinions are. But we're going to be hopping into Heat 2 match